and welcome to Discussion Today. I am Tina Jha. The Biden administration in the United States has made its first big move on Afghan peace. The country has presented an 8-page draft peace agreement to Afghanistan's warring sides for review. The draft agreement includes 3 key elements, which include guiding principles for a new constitution and a new state structure, terms for a transitional government involving the Taliban, and also terms for a permanent ceasefire. It lays out an ambitious roadmap which talks about protecting the rights of all, guarantees elections, demands transparency and a fight against corruption as well as illicit drug trade. It also demands guarantees of non-interference from Afghanistan's neighbors and guarantees from Afghanistan that the country won't be used to attack or interfere with another. The United States has included India to be at the talking table with 5 other countries to decide on the roadmap for peace in Afghanistan. The concerned parties have been asked to come to Turkey in the coming weeks to negotiate on the proposed deal. So what does India's inclusion in the 6-nation initiative led by the UN mean for New Delhi? And what role can India play in the peace process in Afghanistan, where the country is already a major partner in development initiatives? To discuss these aspects and much more, we are joined on the show today by 2 special guests. Let me introduce them to you. We have with us former Ambassador Yogesh Gupta and Major General retired Ashwini Sivaj. He's a strategic analyst. Welcome, gentlemen, on Discussion Today. Major General, let me begin the show today with you. So India has a significant role in Afghanistan's development. But all these years, we've not played a key role as far as the international efforts in ensuring peace in the country were concerned. Now, with India coming on the talks table, what role can New Delhi play towards ensuring peace in our neighboring country? And because the US has included us, what role would the US like India to play, because it's a key regional player in here?
Absolutely correct. First of all, we must understand India is a very important player as far as the peace in Afghanistan is concerned. We are the country which has invested maximum. We have almost invested more than $3 billion, only less than US, and maximum in South Asia. And second thing is our involvement in Afghanistan has been tremendous. We are the one which have constructed parliament there, we have constructed roads, we have constructed bridges, we have constructed their railway lines going up till this thing, to Chabar. Now the issue which has come is that Indian involvement is become much more after the Chabar port has become nationalized and has become now commercialized. The complete, the trade is going through Chabar to Iran, then going to Afghanistan into central states. So, and finally connecting to North-South corridor. So it has made the importance of India much higher than what it was earlier. So we are a very important player in South Asia, and especially for bringing peace in Afghanistan. The present government and India had the best of the relation. Now the reason as to why we were not the player which need to influence the Afghanistan new government in case it comes. The reason was 2. One was that China and Pakistan were playing together, and their main aim is that India should not come in, because Pakistan is not really bothered about the peace in Afghanistan. Pakistan wants Taliban to come back in Afghanistan, which will be playing to the proxies of Pakistan, and they don't want any involvement of India. And so was China. And to some extent, even Russia played to that. It is only Joe Biden administration which has come now, made it very clear India will play a major role, and that's how the 6 ambassadors which have been now the countries which are declared where the ambassador were going, India is part of it. It's a good beginning. We have been always telling that the peace talk should be Afghan-led, Afghan-controlled, Afghan-owned. But however, over a period of time, we realized that we have lost out, and we were not considered as a serious contender in the peace talk. But the things are back to the track, and it's a good thing that Joe Biden administration has realized the importance of India. No peace talk, no peace solution can prevail in Afghanistan till India becomes an active partner in that.
Okay. Ambassador, what according to you explains the change also in the United States approach when it comes to including India in the Afghan talks? So far, as I remember, even the previous Trump administration had gone on to say that India is only building libraries in Afghanistan and has no major role to play as such when it comes to international efforts in ensuring peace. Now, do you see the Biden administration's proposal to include India as an acknowledgement of the proactive role that India has played over these years in Afghanistan's reconstruction process, Ambassador?
Yeah, okay. Now, Tina, I think the most important thing that we have to remember is that India is among this group, besides the US, the only country which is very keen that the progress that Afghanistan has made since 2001, in the last 20 years, in regard to, let's say, improvement of the political, economic situation, the women getting education, the women getting rights, and the country coming back to, a saner road of development, establishment of peace and stability, at least a modicum of peace and stability. So India is the one which is very keen that all these positives must be sustained. All these positives must be retained. Other countries, if you look at it, China, Iran, Turkey, they are Russia, their attitude, their position on some of these things are quite ambivalent. So India, besides the US, has a position which is very close to theirs and which will ensure that the progress that Afghanistan has made must be achieved. And also, I think India's presence will ensure a balancing role in these negotiations involving these 6 countries. And so in that sense, I think it's a positive. And also, India can play an important role in any post-peace negotiations, whatever the outcome is. India can play an important role in ensuring the economic development, in maintenance of peace and stability.
Yes.
So I think it's on the whole positive for the talks, it's positive for India, and it's positive for the peace process.
But Ambassador, the fact that, the United States proposes a power-sharing agreement which involves the Taliban. And as far as India's policy towards Afghanistan it's been consistent, an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned procedure. So in that aspect, how far can India go when it comes to seat sharing, power sharing with the Taliban?
Is it for me?
Yes, Ambassador.
Well, Tina, we have to remember that when we say Afghan-owned, Afghan-led, every country which is involved in these talks, everybody is using these terms because Afghans to each of these countries mean different things. But as far as India is concerned, we are very keen that all the major factions, all the major groups which are representative of Afghanistan must find a presence in the new government which is set up. Pakistan, for instance, is very keen that the Pashtuns, they should be dominating the new government, whereas countries like Iran will be more softer towards the Shias, Shia elements predominating, whereas Russia will have its own preferences for groups which are closer to them. So India is the one which is more interested in a representative, broad-based government. And India will also be keen that whatever economic development has taken place in the country, whatever social development has taken place in the country, all those things must be preserved, all those things must be retained. And Afghanistan should not degenerate into a Islamic sort of a emirate as the Taliban wants.
Yes.
So I think India's presence will play a very important balancing role.
Okay. Major General, by far India has avoided direct contact with the Taliban. But if I'm to quote the US representative who is leading talks on the US-Afghan deal, Mr. Zalmay Khalilzad, he had said earlier that India could play a more active role in the Afghan reconciliation process and that by avoiding open contact with the Taliban, India has sort of reduced its role in international diplomatic efforts. Now that India has been given a position on the table, do you think it's time for India to take a relook as far as its Afghan policy is concerned?
Well, Tina, we are willing to have another look at Taliban, provided Taliban changes in itself. But Taliban has continued with more or less the same policies. They are just killing people. They are so harsh towards the women. They don't allow the women to go to schools. They don't allow women to go to jobs. So if Taliban changes, we'll be very happy to sort of change and acknowledge the change. But Taliban has not changed, and Taliban remains the same. Now, there are countries like Pakistan or Russia may think that it doesn't matter to them, but as far as we are concerned, it does matter to us, because it will mean that Afghanistan will go back on all the progress that it has achieved. Because the kind of society that Taliban views or the Taliban wants to have is a society which is sort of orthodox, conservative, in which the important groups will not be able to play a major representative role. They will not be able to have their voice. So we are willing to change. We have had some informal contacts with the Taliban. And the whole idea was that let us try to get to know Taliban more closely.
Okay.
But
Major
so
General?
far, the information that we have got is that they haven't changed very much.
And that looks very, very unlikely also, looking at the past, looking at the activities that they have been involved in. Major General, your perspective on a lot of observers have actually said that for India to play a more proactive role in the Afghan peace process, in the Afghan peace talks, we will have to change our Afghan policy. We will have to engage directly with the Taliban. But the question is, why should that compromise be reached when our consistent policy has been not to engage with the terror group? And what Ambassador says, if they change, that looks very, very unlikely.
Very correct, Tina, but one must understand in international relations, you do not have a permanent friends and permanent enemies, and your national interest is paramount. Now, you have to be very clear that Taliban is, you like it or not like, going to play a major role after the Americans have exited from Afghanistan. So if Taliban is going to play a major role, then it is very natural that India must open its, direct contact with Taliban. I don't say that you openly, directly do it, but there are back channel diplomacy. The issue today is that the Taliban is very important player in this peace talk. And if it wasn't an important player, why America had done a peace deal with Taliban? So Taliban will change slowly and surely. But as on today, if we do not have direct contact with Taliban, we will become irrelevant. And so far we were irrelevant. We were claiming that we have spent almost $3 billion and we are the major player which have done infrastructure development and capacity building. But we were not part of the talk. The reason is simple. Taliban, you like it or not like it, will come into the forefront in Afghanistan, and we must open our, doors with them. But there is a method of doing it. I am saying there are back channel diplomacy. Have a negotiation with them. You want to be relevant after the Americans have gone from Afghanistan. Afghanistan is gateway to Central Asian state.
Yes.
Afghanistan is very important to you for connecting to North-South corridor on joining Eurasia. So therefore, you have no choice but to be very, very relevant in a post-American exit. So to me, it looks like that we must now change our strategy to some extent, be more realistic, and look after our national interest, which is more important, and should not take a rigid type of approach which were doing it earlier. We should be more flexible. Remember, the two things stand out very clear, Tina. Remember, Pakistan does not want India to get involved in Afghanistan because Pakistan considers Afghanistan its backyard. And it
so
wants
does
that
China.
it should have a strategic depth by having Taliban as its power there, and India had no role. And to some extent, China was playing that card because China has got two interests. One is that it wants the China-Pakistan economic corridor, then finally come toward Afghanistan. Second thing is, they know that the natural resources which China has will give them a tremendous impact if in case, they have a best relation with a new government of Afghanistan, whichever emerges. And third thing is, They want now direct contact with Taliban. They are worried. The Uyghur Muslims, which are of Xinjiang, they don't want anyone to raise any voice, and that's why they are having very good contact with Taliban. So therefore, the China and Pakistan are colluding together to make sure that India has no role in Afghanistan, and India must change. India must become realistic and join with a partner like US and all. And because our interests are very heavy, you know, the involvement and the money which we have invested, and
Yes.
after this Chabahar port has become operationalized, this is a gateway to, you know, Central Asian state and Afghanistan. We should change as per the time, and let's open our, you know, relationship with even Taliban, maybe to start with as a back channel diplomacy.
Okay. Ambassador, so it's better to have a say rather than not being able to, you know, have any stake at all and just be observers from the sidelines. So it's good that India has at least been included and in the talks table. But going forth, what are the kind of, are we in a position first to lay down our terms of talking with the Taliban and engaging with other political groups in Afghanistan? Ambassador, this question is for you. And how far can we go when it comes to engaging with these groups in ensuring that our interests in Afghanistan do not suffer?
Well, Tina, you know, Taliban, we have had informal contacts with them. We have been talking to them. It's not that we have closed the door to them. We have been talking to them. And besides the Taliban, there are other important Afghan groups also. You know, there are those Hazaras and there are those Tajiks and other important groups with whom we have been maintaining close contact. So it is not that we are isolated or we are not keeping in touch with all the relevant partners. Mm-hmm. But the important thing is that a judgment has to be made whether Taliban is still being dictated to by Pakistan or they are on their own.
Precisely.
And right now our judgment is that they are still being dictated largely by Pakistan. And while they made all sorts of promises, for instance, that they would cut off contacts with Al-Qaeda or with the ISIS elements, they have not. They made promises, you know, that they would reduce the violence. They have not. So Taliban's strategy has largely been to sort of gain territory and force the departure of the US troops from Afghanistan. Now, as far as the talks are concerned, I think the Biden administration is at least providing some leeway in the sense that it is maintaining a certain degree of ambiguity about the withdrawal of its troops. Mm-hmm. Whereas Trump was earlier laying down laying down limits that by such and such date the American troops could be withdrawn. So I think their Biden administration has sort of moved a bit. It has made some changes. Similarly, Biden administration is now insisting that some sort of a settlement must be reached, some sort of a ceasefire must be reached, you know, before power is handed over to the new regime. Mm-hmm. And they do not appear to be in all that terrible hurry. And I think there are the Defense Department and a number of other US agencies also are equally keen that US should not leave behind a shoddy example of their involvement in Afghanistan for last 20 years. So US should leave, but should leave behind at least a government which is some sort of representative government and which can continue with the progress that the country has made. Now, India will certainly play a very important role in the emergence of the new government, in the conduct of the negotiations, and as long as the US does not seem to be in a terrible hurry to leave, I think that is all very good. And other actors like Russia, for instance, or China, I mean, they have their own interest, but their involvement on the political side is somewhat limited. And Iran, of course, Iran itself wants to improve relations with the US. So that of course has a different kind of, that has a different equation altogether. So I think Iran will also be a little sensitive about what the US is looking for. So we hope that between US, India, and Iran, we should be able to we should be able to come up with a set of proposals which sort of take care of these interests. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough.
Yes, it's going to be very, very tough. And looking from in the Indian context, Major General, a very, very significant point that the ambassador raised was that for India, it is the groups in Afghanistan that target our country and which are backed by Pakistan is the major worry. And the US-Taliban agreement does not mention any of those. So going forth, what should be India's approach, keeping its best interests in mind? Major General?
See, Tina, there's no doubt about it. What you said is very correct because it is not only Taliban, there are other groups also working there, Hazara there, Pashtun there. They all have their interest. No doubt about it. My only issue is that we are going in the right direction. We are very relevant. You know, Afghanistan is very close to our heart. We have invested heavily there. And people contact is very high. You know, if you take a vote in Afghanistan and want to know which is the country they like the most, and you will find majority of the Afghans voting for India. You know, that is the love they have because we are the genuine partners in Afghanistan development. And we are looked after the empowerment of women, looked after their other democratic structures, you know, and our military to military contact has been very nice. You know, the majority of the training of the military personnel of Afghanistan is being done in India and also their police personnel. So as on today, I fully agree on 2-3 issues. You know, whatever emerges after the Americans go. First point is I agree that Joe Biden is not in hurry to leave it now. He will not leave where the chaos and confusion is in Afghanistan. They don't want the Taliban should rule it. It is what Pakistan wants. Pakistan wants that the rule should be given to Taliban and Taliban is govern the Afghanistan. And that is what Pakistan is looking for.
Yes.
But that should not happen. Two reasons are that today, not only that America is said that they will not leave in hurry, so is the NATO troops, which are almost 10,000 of them. They have given a clear direction that till Afghanistan does not stabilize, till the violence level reduce. Because Taliban, I understand you cannot have total faith and dependence on Taliban. Taliban, the 2-3 factors which were or which they agreed on Taliban deal with America have not been, violence level has not been reduced. They have not, you know, the exchange of PWs have not taken place properly. Then thereafter, they are in hurry to grab as much as land as possible. So to that extent, to have a complete faith in Taliban may be misplaced. But
yes,
at the same time, today, Joe Biden administration has become more realistic. They are no hurry to go out from Afghanistan in that. They will ensure that things are stabilized. Then only they will go. In the meantime, India become a relevant partner. You along with Iran, along with Russia, along with US, which are much more closer to you, work out a solution, a strategy, and become relevant in Afghanistan because our interests are heavy and we are very important partner in development of Afghanistan. I'm sure Indian government is working on that, and the way things are going now, it looks like that the Indian interest and Afghanistan government interest are merging. We want peace, we want democracy, we want whatever has been achieved so far in terms of women empowerment, in terms of this vocational training, society coming up must be retained, and they must not go back to the olden times and the old days of Taliban where there was a communism or dictatorship. So I'm sure things are working out and India will play a major role. India is very realistic now, and since Joe Biden administration is giving lot of weightage for India to become a very important partner in these talks, I suppose that India will now ensure that we remain relevant and we ensure that our interest in Afghanistan is taken care of it, because Afghanistan is gateway to Central Asian states and also Euro-Asia, and therefore we will make sure that our interests are taken care of, not only by us, but also by Americans, by having a strategic partnership with the US as well as with Iran.
Okay. Ambassador, let me also talk about the US proposals at large. So one opinion from you on the proposed deal. Do you see it as marking the beginning of a new chapter in Afghanistan's violent history that it has had? Does it seem likely?
Absolutely. Always one must have a hope, because the way now this new deal or new policy which has been formulated, it looks to be more realistic.
Okay.
Only time will tell it. But as I suppose Taliban will also like that in case the peace has to prevail, they must adopt this, because the violence level has to reduce. Then only the American and NATO troops will go. So to me, it looks like that the Biden administration is more realistic now, and Iran will also play a major role, because that America has given a hint that they will join JCPO, that is called a nuclear deal, that is Joint Comprehensive Plan for Action. So all actors and characters, including Russia, China, and Pakistan, India, and Iran, they all want peace. And this new strategy, which is being worked out by Biden administration, I suppose should work out. Time will only tell, but to me it looks like that the chances of it working out are much higher. They are going to meet in Turkey. They will work out as to how the first reduction of violence is the key word. How you reduce the violence, and so that the talks can start. And the second thing is Taliban should not give shelter to any militant group operating from their bases, especially Al-Qaeda and Islamic State.
Okay. Ambassador, as far as violence is concerned, it has clearly not reduced. Talking about just the month of February, more than 200 pro-government forces and over 60 civilians have died in Afghanistan. And the Afghan president obviously is not very happy with the idea of the United States proposing a power-sharing agreement with the Taliban. So going ahead, the Afghan president, of course, on the opposing side, the United States coming up with several proposals. What does the future of this proposed deal look like? Ambassador?
Well, Tina, I think, I'm coming to that. I think it's a new beginning which the American government is trying to make. They are making one more effort. Things in the past have not been easy because Pakistan has refused to change its policy, and things have become more complicated in the sense that Russia also has provided some support to Taliban, according to sources. Similarly, Iran apparently also has been giving some refuge and support to certain groups operating in Iran. So situation has been pretty and China, of course, has its own economic interests and so on. But I would say it is much better than what it was when at the end of the Donald Trump administration. So I think a new beginning is being made. And hopefully, let's say that things will improve. It's going to be difficult, these negotiations, because the interests of the various parties are quite apart from each other. There are major differences. But that is what all negotiation is about. I think hopefully that these talks should be possible for these major countries to bridge the differences, and hopefully, I think the first priority should be really on scaling down the level of violence. That is very important.
Okay, so absolutely, the proposals don't look like anything that would end the 42-year-old war in Afghanistan. But obviously, as both our panelists have pointed out, a good beginning in the war-ravaged country, and hopefully with the Biden administration's new peace initiatives and with India also coming on board on the talks table on the Afghan peace process, things look bright, and we should all be hopeful for a conducive peace talk procedure that will begin sometime soon in Turkey. So with that, I'll have to call it a wrap on this edition of Discussion Today. Thank you to both my guests for joining us on the program and sharing your perspective with us and our viewers on the issue. So that's it from us on the program. Just in case you missed the television broadcast, you can also watch it on YouTube and Twitter, and you can send in your feedback and suggestions as well. Thank you for your time.